Hello, friends. Today we are doing the major arcana, going through each card and detailing their meaning. I'm super excited to do this because I've worked on this big project, tarot flashcards. So when I was learning tarot, it's a lot. It's 84 cards. It's a lot to go through. It's a lot to remember. So I wanted to kind of keep things as simple as possible, and so I made a profile for each card, including a card story, card meaning, and keywords associated with the card. And that way I was able to kind of keep things at a minimum of what I needed to remember. And what I especially found helpful was creating a card story for each card, because once you can remember stories a lot more easily, and when you give characteristics and attributes into the story to each card, then you're able to remember them a lot more easily. And so yeah, I did that, and I also made it into this super fun flashcard method so that you can really test yourself and easily, go through and identify what you're learning and what you're missing. So if you're interested in that, I've put it in the description box below, and I also have a free guide with all the keywords for every card in a couple sheets, so you can easily have those for your reference, and that's all free. So if you are trying to learn tarot, it's a great resource to have. But let's go through each card together and get you started learning tarot. So today I'm using the Rider-Waite Tarot deck just because it's the most popular deck and it's got pretty detailed imagery, and I think it's the easiest to kind of remember. With tarot, I definitely recommend that you start with one deck, especially the Rider-Waite Tarot, and just get used to that before you start using other decks, because they'll have variations on the imagery and it's hard to remember what the meanings are. And yeah, each kind of card story that I'll share with you today is for this deck, so it might not be the same depending on which deck you have. All right, so to begin with, we have the Fool, number 0. So the Fool is this kind of footloose and fancy-free character. He's, embracing life and not really caring about the consequences. But the Fool, he's got this white dog and a white rose, and underneath he's got a white shirt, and white is a symbol of purity. So you can see that he's going forward with these pure intentions, and that he has very little baggage, and so he's just this innocent soul kind of going forward and being adventurous, innocent, free, originality. So when you reverse a card, you take this sort of other side of that characteristic. So if he's innocent, that's good, but on the flip side of that, on the negative kind of side, he can be taken advantage of, and he's not paying attention, so he could fall off the cliff. So he's kind of being negligent, and so yeah, versus when it's upright, it means like the positive aspects of that card. The next one is the Magician. The Magician is the first card in it's card number 1 in Major Arcana. And so the Magician is holding, this is actually a Torah, And he's holding that up with one hand, and with the other hand he's pointing down towards the earth. And so this speaks to the magician's connection with the divine, bringing it down to earth and kind of into his day-to-day. He also has the wand, sword, cup, and pentacle right here, so he has all the elements at his disposal, and he's got all these flowers around, which kind of mean that he's making things happen, that things are going well for him. So this card is really about using all the tools and resources that you have to make things happen in your life, and it basically is a reminder of taking control of your own life, and to use your own powers and your own skills to make beautiful things happen. And so upright, it means creation, manifestation, resourcefulness, and proactive. And when it's reversed, it means manipulation, deception, and untapped talent. Our next card is the High Priestess, which is number 2. So the High Priestess sits between these two pillars, this black and white pillar, and she's kind of the third pillar, the in-between. And so the black and white represents opposition. So black and white, evil and pure, masculine and feminine, and the priestess is this in-between path, and behind her are pomegranates, which represent abundance. And so here she has a Torah in her lap, and she's got the celestial moon at her feet. So she is really in charge, and she's the balanced, she's the kind of inner voice. And you have like the angel and the devil on your shoulder. She's the one in between. So she's able to trust herself and use her own intuition and inner voice to create this balanced option, which leads to abundance. Upright, this means intuition, inner voice, balance, and reversed, it means lost inner voice, repressed feelings, missing peace, and withdrawal. So it's not being expressed. Next we have the Empress. So the Empress is here on this like very cushy throne. You don't often see that. You see a lot of these hard thrones, but the Empress is this very feminine, plushy, abundant energy. You can see she has the woman's symbol here, and she's just got like, here she has pomegranates on her dress, she's got wheat, she's got trees, she's got water coming in. So she is just full of all this abundance, an abundance of stars. Like, it is this very full, abundant, feminine energy coming through, and just kind of a life of ease and comfort. What it means upright is abundance, motherhood, fertility, nurturing, and material comfort. And when it's reversed, it means dependence, smothering, emptiness, and creative blocks. So number 4, we have the Emperor, and this is really in stark comparison to the Empress. So the Empress is young and has everything she needs. The Emperor has everything, but it's very angular, very hard. His throne is this stone mass, and behind him are these mountains that are super tall and pointy. So mountains often mean challenges in life, so he's kind of scaled a great way up, and when you get to the top of the mountain, you're kind of reaching your pinnacle. And you can see, even though he has these robes like the Empress does. I mean, he doesn't have pomegranates on his, but he has this armor underneath because it's been a tough go and he needs to have this layer of kind of fight. So this emperor is just, you know, he's had a tough life and he's fought for it. But he does have this crown. He has the power. So he's being rewarded, but it's been like he's had to really man up. And he is this hardened man and represents the stoic establishment of control and discipline. And upright, he's this authority, father figure, establishment, focus, discipline, like hard cut rules. And when he's reversed, it means kind of excessive control, rigidity, rigidity and domination, inflexible and stubborn. So, you know, this man, his mind isn't going to be changed. And that's where it connects a lot with people's fathers because, you know, they have some sort of opinion and you probably don't agree with it. So that's the kind of energy this card has. And it also has the rams on the throne, which is, you know, hard-headedness and just an Aries symbol, but just, you know, doing whatever you think is right, and you keep hitting your head against the wall because eventually it'll break it down, even though it might not be the best way. All right, number 5, we have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant again is sitting between these two pillars, but this time they're kind of representing establishment. And the Hierophant is this highly regarded figure of wisdom. And I mean, in this case, it's very religious because it's got like the Pope's keys and these crosses and this crown. And then it's got some like monks at his feet and crosses all the way down here. But this is a person of knowledge and wisdom. And his hand is also up towards heaven, which means that he's kind of receiving guidance from. The Hierophant really represents tradition and traditional learning and kind of rising up through academia or, you know, through systems to becoming this. It's kind of an elder position of knowledge, and he's the sage that people are coming to for advice and knowledge. And, you know, he's done it by going through learning processes and being by the book. So upright, this card means tradition, higher learning, conventionality, conformity, and wisdom. And when it's reversed, it means rebellion, unconventionality, ignorance, and freedom. Okay, card number 6. We have the Lovers. So the Lovers are here. They are kind of Adam and Eve. They have like the Bible with the apple tree and the serpent, and basically they're being looked over by spirit, and they've got these clouds going between them, which is symbolizing communication. Like air is communication. Like they have a really strong connection. They're also naked, which is really important. It's kind of saying like they have this connection and they're completely themselves when they're together. So they're seeing each other for who they truly are, and they're not like trying to hide anything. And so this is a card of soulmate, and it represents a strong and lasting relationship. Upright, this card means love, harmony, partnership, values alignment, relationship, romance, balance, and unity. And when this card is reversed, it means disharmony, self-love, imbalance, conflict, and detachment. When the Lovers, like, they're equals, they're together, they're solid. Now we have the Chariot. The Chariot is number 7. It's this soldier man in a chariot that is being led by 2 sphinxes, and this guy is really I would say like a warrior or something, but he has divine energy guiding him. Like, these are the stars, and he's got a crown with celestial elements, so he's connecting with spirit to guide him, but he's being pulled by these two opposite directions. So again, we see this black-white symbolism with, you know, bad, good, black, white, evil, pure kind of symbols, and masculine and feminine, and he's in between. So he's got to control these 2 forces, these 2 desires, to, you know, get to the place where he ultimately wants to be. So this is a card of ambition and multiple desires that have to be tamed in order to succeed. And upright, this means success, ambition, determination, control, self-discipline, focus, and action. And when it's reversed, it means forceful, no direction or control, powerless, aggressive, and obstacles. So this is the 8th card, and again we see this infinity symbol like we did with the Magician, and it just means kind of a wisdom and guidance. So this woman is dressed all in white, again to symbolize her purity of intention, and here she has a lion, and instead of being afraid of the lion, she's actually tamed him and petted it, and, you know, she's not afraid of it. And so it represents the courage to face scary situations, and that, you know, she was facing a lion, but look at him, he's like, you know, the friendliest thing ever. So a lot of the time situations seem scarier from the outset than they are once you get to know like what's actually happening. And yeah, you can see just she's surrounded by flowers, and that just speaks to the rewards you'll get from being brave and being strong and facing these situations that you might not have wanted to face. So upright, we have strength, courage, focus, influence, self-confidence. In reversed, we have weakness, insecurity, raw emotion, and anxiety. Number 9, the Hermit. So the Hermit is this old man. He's gone through a lot, and you can see these mountains below. So he's actually at the top of a mountain, and he's using this is the Star of David as guidance. So it's representing the divine and spiritual. So he's got that to guide him, but he's kind of like, he's looking back down at where he's come from, and he's taking a moment to kind of pause and reset. He's also like fully alone. So it just speaks to his taking a moment to kind of regroup and to evaluate his life. So this is a card of internal reflection, and it reminds us to search within ourselves for the answers we are seeking. When it's upright, it means soul searching, solitude, spiritual enlightenment, and guidance. And when it's reversed, it means loneliness, isolation, antisocial, sadness, and overwhelmed. Number 10 is the Wheel of Fortune. This comes from Greek mythology, and the Greeks thought that the fates, as shown by these 3 characters, they would kind of spin the wheel at your birth to decide your fate. Yeah, it's an interesting card because it doesn't actually have a human on it, which is quite rare, and it just means like things are changing, or that the path you are on isn't necessarily where you're going, and things are going to kind of suddenly change. But it also means that, all these animals that are around, like they're all helping to guide you. So it means that there's a change, but that guidance is coming with it. And so upright, this means destiny, fate, karma, turning points, life cycles, and change. And reversed, it means upheaval, lousy luck, unwelcome change, setbacks, and external forces. Okay, number 11, we have the Justice card. This is Lady Justice. She's sitting on her box, again, between these two pillars that, like the Hierophant, represent an institution. And here, this woman, although she's not blindfolded, she's not looking at the scales, but she does have a sword, which symbolizes thought, and it's pointing up towards the heavens, again, for spiritual guidance, and then the scales as to symbolize fairness of judgment. And so this card is a reminder of what goes around comes around, and to make responsible and fair choices. Upright, it means fairness, integrity, truth, responsibility, decision, and clarity. And reversed, it means injustice, dishonesty, not taking responsibility. Okay, number 12, we have the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is here. He's hanging upside down, but he doesn't look that stressed out about it. So that's kind of the interesting thing. Basically, so this is the Tree of Life, and he's hanging from one foot. He should be in pain, and yet his head's glowing with insight. He's seeing life from a different perspective. And although he seems to be enjoying this experience, he's also stuck here. Like, he can't move. He's upside down. His foot is tethered to this tree. So he's kind of on a break, taking time to look at things from a different perspective. But at the same time, he's stuck. He can't move forward because he is literally in a tree. And so this card reminds us to be in the moment, because not to be going forward, but to be tethered to that moment so you can fully appreciate it. But it also to be open to new experiences. But also saying you might be tethered currently. So upright, this card represents sacrifice, lack of direction, perspective, and contemplation. And reversed, he's actually upright. It means stalling, needless sacrifice, stagnation, and no solutions. Number 13, we have death. Now, everyone thinks that death is horrible until they actually learn a bit more about tarot, and they realize that it doesn't mean that you're going to die. Death is this skeletal figure. He's riding, again, a white horse, which means that he has good intentions, and he has a white rose. And so those are actually really good signs. But he's kind of going through this and, charging through this scene of people dying and not caring. And it just means that he's, he's representing change, and he's coming through no matter what. So you really can't stop it. And a lot of people don't like death. They don't like change. They want to stay the same forever. But death waits for no person, and change waits for no person, and he will come in and change everything. And so this card is one of inevitable transition, a reminder that there's an end to everything that begins and that no one is immune to it. So upright, it means ending of a cycle, transition, transformation, letting go, and change. And reversed, it means resisting change, fear of a new beginning, decay, and stagnation. Number 14, we have Temperance. Here we see an angel, and he's actually got 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on land. And water is this emotional bond, and land's kind of the material world, so like soul and body. The angel is touching both, so he is part of both worlds. He's got 2 cups in his hands, and he's actually flowing water from one cup to another, and the cups represent connection essentially, but they're kind of like the bodies, and the water is the connection. So he is working on building this connection between mind and body, and between person and person. And yeah, you can just see like he's just here chilling. He's got the white robe, which means he's got pure intentions. And it's a reminder to keep this kind of balanced outlook on life, like to balance body and soul, and, you know, emotional connections. And upright, this card means balance, moderation, good health, patience, finding meaning, peace, and harmony. And reversed, this means imbalance, discord, hastiness, overindulgence, risky behavior, extremes, and excess. Number 15, the Devil. Here we have the Devil. It's actually a scarier looking card than Death, but it's not as frightening as it looks. And it's just, here is the Devil, and you can see that the 2 humans, the 2 lovers, like the same people, they're here, but they're chained to him. And here they have like grapes and fire. And it's really, this card is a card of materialism, and being kind of too attached to these things that the devil is offering, in a sense. And they're actually beginning to develop devilish characteristics because of how much time they're spending with the devil. It represents like being focused on material possessions and in excessive amounts, and it means that you overvalue those possessions, and you're becoming a slave to the devil, or to your materialism. And the devil, yeah, just really represents materialism, the physical world, and versus like angels and God and spirits are more of this air world, and they're about this thought and connection and peacefulness. So upright, this card means material focus, negative thinking, trapped, betrayal, addiction, and excess. And when it's reversed, it means overcoming addiction, freedom, independence, and reclaiming power. Now on to the Tower. So this card is the 16th card, and it is definitely one of the more ominous cards. And like, of all the cards, there aren't really any in major arcana that are really scary. I think this is like kind of the scariest one, and it's nothing, I mean, it does mean bad news, but it's something bad that's happening in order for you to move on and progress. So in the end, it's not that bad. I mean, it's just a representation of like major change, and you know, change is often actually good. It means you can move forward and you're not like stuck. So although something kind of negative, or not necessarily negative, but it's essentially like you're starting from scratch again. So here they've built this tower up, but they built it on this rock that is really pointy and not a good place to build a tower. And so they've built it, and basically this lightning or the fates saying like, no, this was a bad idea, you shouldn't have done this, and forcing them to move on. So like they obviously weren't listening. They were still building this tower, and the fates had to intervene and be like, no, you're not, like this isn't gonna happen. I'm gonna destroy this because this is leading you down the wrong path. So it's change, sudden change, very disruptive change, but change for a good purpose. Like in the end, you'll be happy that this happened, so you didn't spend any more time or energy investing in building this tower that at the end of the day isn't going to serve you. Although it's scary when it comes up, you really want to embrace this, and you don't want to run away from it, because if you run away from it, you're just delaying the process. This is inevitable. The sooner the better, so you can start on to the next thing. And so basically this is a card of tragedy and shows destruction coming to something that you've built or put energy into in an unwise way. And the key words associated with this card are intense and sudden change, release, and tragedy. And reversed, this card means that you're resisting change, delaying the inevitable, or avoiding tragedy. So embrace it. Next we have the Star. Now here we see a woman with 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on land. It's like Temperance. And here again, instead of cups, we have 2 jugs. And the jugs are actually pouring water back in, and they're like continuously flowing. And so this really represents the connection to water, which represents emotions and soul, and being like this plentiful source of just connection and oneness with the world. This one is a card of like generosity and hope. You know, this person is pouring, like is not being, being stodgy with the water. She's giving as much as she can, full force, and being really open and abundant. And here, like, there are all these stars and things, so it's about giving your all and really being generous and hopeful and optimistic. And some keywords associated with this is upright. It's hope, renewal, creativity, generosity, and healing. And when it's reversed, it means despair, creative blocks, focusing on the negative. Next, we have the Moon. So the Moon is the 18th card in the Major Arcana, and it really, like, as you see, it's kind of consists of these 2 worlds. So on this side we see this dog, and it's got a bit more of a rounder tower, and then on this side of the stream we see this wolf and a more square tower. And this card is about, like, it's a bit of confusion. It's a card of deception. So it's not everything is what it seems, and it's difficult to really know what side of this you're on. Like, this side, things aren't so bad, versus this side, there's a lot more, like, there's a wolf, and this tower is more foreboding. So you're not able to have a full picture of what these circumstances mean. You're not aware of everything, and you're gonna be deceived by the appearance of things. And the key words: upright, we have confusion, delusion, risk, intuition, secrets, and anxiety. And when it's reversed, this card is about overcoming fear, finding truth, clarity, and understanding. So it's basically just like you're not really sure what's going on. Number 19, we have the Sun. So this card, you can see there's this little baby on this white horse, which is again for purity, and he's waving this flag, and there are these sunflowers, and he's being looked after by the sun and everything. He's really joyful, and this is a card of personal confidence, success, and celebration. So this person, like, they are naked, they are themselves, they're not hiding anything, and they are being rewarded. Like, people are shining on them, they're being celebrated for who they really are deep down. And so when this card comes up, it's really about just being your true self and being like rewarded for being your true self, and that sort of innocence, because it's young, but not really innocence, but just like this, this is who I am, and this is authenticity, this is who I am, and good things are coming to you because of that truth. So upright, this card means happiness, fertility, success, optimism, truth, joy, confidence, and celebration. And reverse, this card represents sadness, procrastination, pessimism, lies, failure, blocked happiness, excessive enthusiasm, and unrealistic expectations. Okay, so our second last card is number 20, and this is Judgment. So here, it's actually the angel Gabriel, and it looks pretty similar to this angel. And so the angel Gabriel is blowing his horn, and these people are supposed to be like dead people who are being resurrected by the angel. Like, this card is named Judgment because, as the story goes, like, Gabriel is coming down to collect these people to take them to heaven, like take them on their next step. So it's less about like the literal story that's going on here than kind of finding your calling. So the angel is calling to these people, and they're relieved. Like, they all look very happy because they're like, finally we're able to move on because we've gotten the message here. Like, they've heard this and they're super excited to move on. And so this card really represents movement and finding one's purpose and then taking action. So it's progress. And upright, it means reflection, inner calling, fresh start, awakening, and purpose. And when it's reversed, it means feeling down, self-doubt, and lack of self-awareness. So you're not sure what you're really doing. And last but not least, we have the World, card number 21. And here in the World, we see a woman surrounded by this wreath, and again, these 4 animals, which it's the same, this bird, lion, ox, and human. Those fates are again here to guide you. This wreath is completed, it's circular, so it's about this sense of completion. It also is the last card in the major arcana. So it means, you know, you've gone through all these stages. So this is kind of the final stage, and it is one of harmony and fulfillment. So this woman is completely comfortable with her, you know, naked self. She has these 2 Torahs in either hand, which means like that she's very knowledgeable and enlightened, and yeah, just a completion of her journey, and she's totally comfortable and happy. And so this card is one of inner harmony and fulfillment. Upright, it means fulfillment, harmony, integration, completion, unity, wholeness. And when it's reversed, it means incompletion, shortcuts, delays, and emptiness. So, all right. So thank you so much for watching this major arcana. I hope it was really helpful to go card by card and learn more about each one and the symbols and colors and all that fun stuff. Again, I've made a tarot flashcard book to help you study, and so if you're interested in that, it's in the link below. And I also have a free guide with all the keywords for each card for upright and reverse, so that you can quickly kind of use that as your cheat sheet when you're learning cards and starting doing readings and stuff. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I can't wait to see you again. Bye!